Well, hello. I want to say Happy New Year. We're just on the cusp of the new year. And I wanted to share with you a practice that I love to do at the end of the year. It's kind of like my New Year's Eve thing. I just love New Year's Eve because it feels like a time of new beginnings. So I call it reflections and projections. So first of all, I didn't always do this practice, but for years and years and years, my husband and I would at the end of New Year's Eve, we would write down the good things, capital G, capital T, that happened that year and with our family and the kids. And it just became a really beautiful time of reflection. Because, so many great things would happen during the year that we would have kind of forgotten about. And then over the years, became like memories for us, right? There's a great quote. Let me find it about memories from Queen Elizabeth II. My mother would love this. Queen Elizabeth II said, "Good memories are our second chance at happiness." Isn't that beautiful? So I love to use New Year's Eve as a time to have that second chance of happiness by reflecting on memories and just looking back at them over the years, or things like Riley learned to walk, and we went on took the we took the kids out in a canoe, and stuff like that, just really beautiful, beautiful memories to just treasure. Now my kids are grown up, so I'm not doing that same. Well, we are still doing it, but it's not those memories of the kids growing up. But I still do love to write a list of the things that I've accomplished over the year, and the good things, the GTs of the year. But I wanted to share this practice with you of first 5 questions for reflection, reflecting back over the year, and then 5 questions for projection to help us intentionally design. So, life by design, live by design, to create intention going forward into the new year, which is not the same as New Year's resolutions, because we know that they don't work. People don't follow through. Most people have forgot their New Year's resolutions by the time February comes. So rather, it's more about kind of the big picture, setting your compass for where you want to go. So, first of all, let's look at the questions, and I'll share my answers with you on reflections of the past year. So, 5 questions. Here's the first question: Who inspired me and why? I love doing this. Who pick someone over the year that inspired you? Maybe it was someone you went to see, or maybe it was a friend or a neighbor. So for me this year is my daughter Kelsey. She is an ultra marathon runner. She runs usually 100-mile distance, which is like 167 kilometers, I think, all in one go. Takes her like 24 to 34 hours to do it, depending on the terrain. Can you imagine running, even being awake for that long? And I mean, she's been doing this for years, but I'm still totally inspired and in awe of her every time she does one of these races. For most of them, we've been able to be there to be her support crew, which means that we show up at the aid stations, and we help her with food and replenishing the water and cheering her on and so on. And then, of course, we're there at the finish line, which is always very, very emotional. And I'm just amazed. Like, whether she's placed or not doesn't really matter. But the fact that she's finished, usually with these kind of races, like half the people don't finish, uh, depending on the race and the conditions. If it starts to snow or something, more people will tend to drop out. But Kelsey always finishes. And some people will drop out if they went in with the expectation that they were going to be, in the top 5, and they realize they're not. They will just drop out. Kelsey won't do that. She always finishes her races. And this is a mental game. I mean, obviously she's got the physical training in, but it's more of a mental game. And the mental toughness that she has and the determination are just so inspiring to me. So, Kelsey, for this year. And my other kids are amazing too, but just what she does with these races is quite incredible. Second question. So that was the first question: Who inspired me and why? And the thing about answering that question is you gain insights about yourself when you see what is inspirational in other people, it's kind of often what you want to cultivate in yourself. So when I look at this, I think about Kelsey and her mental toughness and her just the perseverance and cheerfulness while she's doing it. I forgot to mention that. That's kind of what I aspire to as well, right? So think about that with yourself when you answer that question. Question number two is, what is something I achieved or contributed to which I am proud of? What is something I achieved or contributed to which I am proud of? So, yeah, I when I thought about this over this year, um, well, my whole mission really since I left my engineering career has been to empower people in their health. Specifically, I've been working mostly with people with chronic pain, but honestly, the stuff that I teach could be applied to anyone. It's like it's sort of self-help tools to regain your health, but not just that, to use the way your body has spoken to you in health as a tool for transformation to uncover and reveal an even greater version of you that was really there all the time. Um, so to that end, the thing that I do that kind of is my North Star for that is my membership, Living Pain Free. And I had a lot of different other stuff going on, but that is my North Star. And so I really focused on that this year and really making sure that more people were hearing about it so that I could help more people. Um, Find this version of themselves, and so I'm actually proud of that this year that I really chose to focus on that and grow it, and I've seen a lot, I've seen the membership kinda double over this year, so, um, I'm really proud of what I've created there, what how I'm serving people there, and that it is such a beautiful supportive community. So there's something. And now other things personally, um, well, no, another business thing really, kind of business and personal, is I hosted a retreat in Costa Rica, my first in-person retreat, and I did it solo in Costa Rica. I had 14 beautiful people there, and that was really a long-term dream of mine to host a retreat in a beautiful location, and I did that, so proud of that. And then personally, I okay, so I gotta put some context in this. 2016, I could barely walk. I could barely walk up the stairs. I had to take the steps one step at a time. I certainly could not even walk around the block because I had so much pain and inflammation in my knees, my feet, just throughout my body. This year, I took up trail running. So I started training in January and I competed in some races, different distances, up to 10 kilometers. I actually did a 17-kilometer trail run, very mountainous, back like in the backcountry. So I'm super proud of myself when I look back at how far I've come to think that I can do trail running now and actually love it and not hurt um, is amazing to me. So I'm super proud of that. So, what is something I achieved or contributed to which I'm proud of? All right, what is it for you? Okay, question number three. What happened that was challenging and what did I learn? Hmm. What happened that was challenging and what did I learn? We life has challenges, right? And so we want to learn from challenges. So if unless we reflect back on it, we aren't going to learn from our challenges. So we want to learn from it. So for me, I'm very, very grateful that I didn't have any big challenges in terms of health challenges or like family crises or anything like that. Like that, I'm blessed, right? The challenge that I do have is trying to balance out uh having a freedom in my life and being able to do the things with my husband, Noel. He's retired now, and we waited our whole lives and dreamed about retirement and being able to travel and having freedom. And I never. knew that I was going to have this whole other career, which I absolutely love. Well, it's not just a career, it's a calling, right? If you follow me, you know that I had like a spiritual awakening, and that said I was going to figure out how to heal myself and then I was going to teach other people. So this very much feels like a calling, but I don't think that my calling is to, never have any free time. So I have to balance it now. Not saying that I never have free time. I do have free time, but I am um it's challenging for me to pull myself back from my calling so that I have more free time. I kind of always give myself so many things to do, and trying to create so many things, of course, that takes time. And I'm a solopreneur. I do have some team members that help me, but basically I'm a solopreneur. So that is my challenge. So I know that I need more assistance, and I perhaps need to let go of some things. Understand that maybe some things won't be done exactly like I would do them, and maybe there might be mistakes, but of course I make mistakes too. But accept that, and so that I have some better balance and not get stressed about every time I want to take some time off to travel, being very stressed about having, the content, this podcast, and having my email that I feel is my email commitments and to share and teach, and all my other stuff as well. So that's yeah, that's a challenge for me. So my goal is to commit to having some more assistance and letting go of trying to do as much as I have been doing. That's my goal. Um, so that was question number 3. What happened that was challenging and what did I learn? Question number 4. What did I not make time for that I wish I had? What did I not make time for? So this is kind of the other side of what I was just talking about for me, that I didn't make, because as a solopreneur, you have a to-do list that never ends. It's just never all done, right? There's always, always, always stuff to do. And so, but I try. I try until the daylight's gone, basically, to get stuff done. And because of that, I have not made time for um things that I know really bring me a lot of joy, like creative pursuits. Like I think I've done one watercolor painting the entire year. I love sewing and have some projects that I want to do. I didn't do not one of those. Um, so yeah, I want to make time for those creative pursuits. So I didn't do that this year. And that's something I want to change. So question number 5. So that was question number 4. What did I not make time for that I wish I had? Question number 5 is, what am I most grateful for and why? What am I most grateful for and why? I mean, my number one um role, I guess, is being a mother, wife and mother, and being in this family. And so for me, what I'm most grateful for is my family. I have 3 amazing children. They're all adults now, and they have incredible partners. My husband is wonderful. I love that we're a close family, even though physically we're all very far apart, like across Canada, from east almost out to the west coast in Alberta. So I feel that that is what I'm most grateful for is my family, that they are all healthy and happy, and being their own people in the world, expressing themselves as they want to. So really, really grateful for them. Just take a little moment to feel that gratitude in my heart. Okay, so that is the review questions, and so the other ones are about um, previewing, reviewing and previewing. So the other questions are all about um, how I can make a difference in the next year, 2024. So, what did I call this actually? Um, yeah, my reflections and projections. So, my projections, certainly not from a, point of view of being a psychic or anything like that, just um, my own little planning. Now, where did I put my file on that? I've just been sliding stuff around on my screen. Here we go. There we go. So I have 5 more questions for you. So the 5 questions. So this is about setting your GPS for where you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, how you want things to be by the end of the year, kind of. So if you think about an actual GPS, right? We don't really think about how we're getting there. We're like putting in the coordinates. And we want to do that. We don't want to just like wander off and hopefully we'll get somewhere. That doesn't work. So we do want to project and like live by design as opposed to living by default. And as you know, wellness by design, it's what I'm all about. So, 5 questions. Um, First question: who do I want to spend more time with, and how will I make that happen? So, who do I want to spend more time with, and how do I make that happen? For me, this probably won't surprise you when you hear my answer to the last one. And that is, I want to spend more time with my family. So I mentioned my immediate family and my bigger family, but especially I'm thinking about my immediate family. We have not all gotten together. My 3 kids and their partners and me and Noel. The 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 8 of us have not gotten together since 2022 we did, which was a real blessing when my son came for a visit from Edmonton and my daughter came from Nova Scotia. And my other son came from St. John's and their partners. We were all together then, but we haven't been together since then. So I would really love to make that happen in 2024. And I don't know exactly how it's going to happen yet. Um, but I that's my vision that it's going to happen, and I have no doubt that it will happen. So the funny thing is when you set goals like this and you create a vision. So right now I'm just picturing that like a photograph of all of us together last time, and I'm picturing that that's going to happen again. I'll put it on my vision board. I love doing vision boards. Um, for 2024. And so I know that it will happen. I don't know exactly how it's going to happen, but I trust that things will unfold to make it happen. Of course, I'm going to need to take some action. Of course, I'll probably need to make some arrangements, but I know it's going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. So that's my answer to that question. Who do I want to spend more time with, and how will I make that happen? I'm not worried about the how just yet. I just going to make sure it's going to happen, but I will be taking steps. The reason why I don't really know yet is how or where is because some things on my daughter's running calendar are still not confirmed. Once those are in place, then we can start doing the planning around it. Okay, that was question number 1. Question number 2 is, how will I give back, add value, and make a difference for others? This is important to us, right? As human beings, uh, giving back, having value, doing something for others. This this gives us a sense of self-worth. Now, a lot of people with chronic pain, I will say, tend to do too much for others. Um, so maybe for you, this question might not be the best one. Maybe you need to hold back a little bit on doing things for others and notice what you are doing and noticing that you are kind. But if you want to give back, add value, make a difference to others, then what will that be? So I tell you, for me, that last year or this year, 2023, I wanted to do these micro content 1-minute videos, and I was committing to myself to do it every day for a full year. I started off really well. I think I did a video every day um, for the first 3 months, basically till the end of March. I mentioned that I went to Costa Rica and led a retreat, and then we went on vacation. I had all the videos. I did it all the way up to the end of March. And then when I got home, I had catching up to do, and I never got back into the flow of doing them. I did them once in a while, but not the daily ones that I had planned on, that I started doing, that I planned on doing. Um, so the thing is that I know that these little micro content, little short teachings do help people. I got lots of comments and lots of feedback that they do help people. And so I I want to do it again. I want to add value by committing to doing this micro content again in 2024. So renewing my commitment in 2024 to do the micro content, because I know that people, um, when they take baby steps, it's achievable for them. So if I can give a little baby step that someone can do that's going to start to make a difference in their health and in their lives, then that's powerful, right? So who am I to hold back and not do that? It's not that hard to do a 1-minute video every day. I can do this. Okay, so what about you? If you are in the camp that's not already doing too much, how will I give back, add value, make a difference? And make it small, as small as you need to make it achievable. Okay, question number 3. What will I change or do differently in the new year, and why? So for me, I'm talking about working better, not harder, not trying to do everything myself. So again, this is kind of following up from my reflections that I had earlier. So I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to find some help and ask for help and let go of trying to do everything myself and accept that's gonna be okay, because we really don't know how much time we have left, right? I want to have that time with my husband, to do things together, to spend time with my friends, to spend time with my family, and not feel stressed about it because I can't get away from I got so much to do in order to take any time off. Um, okay, so that was question number 3. What will I change or do differently in the new year, and why? Why is important? I want to point that out. Why is important? Because why is your motivation. And when you come back to your why, you will be motivated to make that change. So for me now, it'll be, well, why do I want to do this? I don't know my husband, my family, my friends. I need to nurture those relationships. This is important to me. And if I don't make myself available to do that, then I'm kind of withdrawing from the bank instead of putting into the bank of my relationships. Okay, so that was question number 3. Question number 4 is, what is a goal I'd like to achieve by the end of the year? Okay, so one goal I'd like to achieve by the end of the year is this year I started writing my book. So that's my little mock up back there. Pain Free by Design, a 6-step path to become the version of you that allows healing to happen. I started writing the book. I'm probably half-ish way through, but I also did a book proposal, and I'm really proud that when I submitted to the book proposal to a competition with Hay House. So Hay House is a publishing house, pretty big one, and I'm in a group where I could submit it as part of a competition, that it didn't win the competition, but it got an honorable mention. So my proposal is a great proposal. It may not be the perfect fit for Hay House. So my goal for this year is to get that proposal to another publishing house and get it published through a publishing house, or if that doesn't work, I'm going to self-publish. I just want this book to get out in the world. So that's my commitment, is to, have that, so that that book is being ready. It probably won't be published by the end of the year, but it'll be, in the works of being published by the end of the year. So that's my goal. Um, it makes a difference too, I will say, when you have like a purpose. So Picasso said, the purpose of life is to find your gifts, and the meaning of life well, he didn't say what, the meaning is to give them away. So what are your gifts? So I feel like to me, my experience, what I went through and putting it into a book is a gift. And the meaning for me is to get it out, right? To let people find it and see it and read it and change their lives. So that was question number 4. Question number 4 is, what is a goal I'd like to achieve by the end of the year? Up to question number 5, the last one. How will I bring more joy, fun, and health into my life? And you could even say joy, fun, or health, but I think actually they're all related. How will I bring more joy, fun, and health into my life? So I'm pretty good with the health because I've had to focus on my health. I've got a great dialed in morning routine. I've got the movement now with my running. I do yoga every single day. I eat really well, healthy foods. I nourish my body really well. I do intermittent fasting almost every day, take little breaks once in a while too. I've got really great stress reduction practices. So I've got all of that, but I need to make more time for joy and fun. Joy and fun. So, what works for me is putting things on my calendar. And I know a lot of people don't love to live by a calendar, and it might just be that you're going to pick one day that you're going to schedule in some joy and fun. So, what is joy and fun for you? Whatever it is, how are you going to create more of that? So for me, I decided that I'm going to schedule weekly time for what's fun to me. I used to play ukulele and guitar. I haven't been doing any of that. The painting that I mentioned earlier, I haven't been doing much of that, or other creative projects like sewing projects or playing games or having planning like weekend adventures. So I'm going to schedule those in and make sure that at least once a week I'm doing something for joy and fun. Okay. So that's me. What is it for you? And I want to talk about making commitments. So you notice I'm making some commitments here now, and it's public. So I'm going to have to answer to these commitments. And I'll be back here this time next year reviewing what I committed to and how did I do with that. Um, the thing about making a public commitment is that you're much more likely to follow through on it. So in my Living Pain Free group, I have these weekly wins and goals. So in the weekly wins, people will celebrate what went well for them. That tells the brain this is what's important to me. I'm celebrating it. We get actually a little hit of dopamine from doing that. And then especially I respond to it, say, well done, or whatever. So that's a little hit of dopamine. But also uh, they often say, if they want to, what their goals are for the coming week. And the thing is, when people publicly state their goals, they're much more likely to follow through on them. Studies have shown this. We know it to be true. And I know for myself, so here's a little example. In 2022, I committed publicly in Facebook to doing a cold plunge in the river outside my house or wherever I happen to be, a cold plunge once a week for the entire year of 2022. And then I videotaped them or videotape, that sounds so old. We videoed them and I would share that on social media. So I knew that I had to do it and people were following. There actually were people that were following me to do this every single week because I had made that commitment. Like some days are horrible, I can tell you. Like February, easterly wind blowing down that river, big waves. It was yucky, but I got in because I had committed to doing it. It's just when I say something publicly, I commit to it. So I thought 2023, I'm not going to commit to every week. I don't want to do that again. I'll still dip, but I'm not going to commit to it. So I didn't commit to it. And I think I did a cold plunge. If I went 10 times, that's probably more than I did. So I really didn't do very much because I didn't make a commitment. So the thing is, I do eat, like it's one of those things that doesn't feel good before you do it, but feels great afterwards. I needed that commitment to nudge me along. So without the commitment, it didn't nudge me along enough. Then I did keep up with my cold showers. So I still did that, but I didn't go down to the river to do the cold plunge. So I'm making another commitment. I'm not going to commit to every week, but here's my commitment for 2024 is to do a cold plunge on every full moon. On every full moon, I'm going to do a cold plunge. Couple of reasons for that. I've got a friend who I've been learning about how we're affected by the moon cycles. And so when at the time of the full moon, we tend to get sort of more congestion and sort of build up. And so something that's like a cold plunge is going to be really beneficial. So I'm going to do it on the full moon. And the thing is, it makes me pay attention to the moon cycles and how I'm feeling in response to the moon cycles. And it's a commitment. I have to do it on those days. So it'll happen. It will happen. So there you go. All right. Have fun. Oh, actually, I want to share something else with you that I love to do. I love to write a letter to myself. So I don't, if you're listening, you can't see this, but it says Jane, December 31st, 2023. It is sealed because I haven't opened it yet. I will be opening this on New Year's Eve. But I wrote this letter to myself last New Year's Eve. I wrote about basically congratulating myself on what I have accomplished this year. Okay. So I'm writing it. I wrote it as if I was congratulating myself on, on December 31st, 2023, but I wrote the letter on December 31st, 2022, or I might have written it a few days later, but in that time. So I wrote a letter of congratulations saying, I am so proud of you for da 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 da. So this is really fun. And I put this letter in my nightstand so I know it's there. And I actually really look forward to opening this letter every year because I don't ever really remember what I've said. You think I would, but I don't always really remember. And you can make it specific or you could make it more general. In some ways, having it more general will make it less what's the word, make you not feel like you've disappointed yourself when you're reading it at the end if you did quite accomplish that. But I would say, even so, I'll probably write in this year's, for example, I'm so proud of you for doing a daily reel every day this year. And so maybe at the end of the year I might not have actually done a reel every single day throughout the year, but I did it mostly, right? And so I can congratulate myself for that because actually we can't really expect perfection from ourselves. We have a goal that's, our top goal, right? Kelsey talks about this, my daughter and her races. Like she has her top goal, and she might have a middle goal, and then, kind of a lower goal. Achieving any of those is still success, right? Moving towards those goals is a success, even if you didn't get exactly what you set out to do. So, you could even finish your letter with something like that, saying, whatever progress you have made on these, I am so proud of you for making this progress. Something like that. Or you write whatever you want in your letter. It's just a little suggestion from me. Now, another thing I want to put out there for you and offer up is you've probably heard of this, having a word or a phrase for the year. So I've done this a few times. A few years ago, I had the word shine was my word of the year. My friend had this, it's like a little rattle, a heart rattle with my word of the year on there, which I think was really beautiful. Last year, on my vision board here, I have my phrase of the year last year was joyful expression. So I was thinking at the beginning of the year about my goal of writing my book. I was thinking about doing these reels and I wanted it to feel joyful. So I used joyful expression. And that was sort of my guiding light for the year. So you might want to think about, well, what do you want for this year? Maybe like loving relationships or something about abundance. I mean, most people, their goals can kind of fall into either abundance, that could be time or money, freedom, right? Abundance, relationships, and health. So what maybe you might pick one of those areas, or maybe you might come up with a phrase that's going to encapsulate all of those. What is it for you? So I love having this word or phrase of the year because it's just, like I said, a guiding light. So just reminding myself when I come here every day and I'm going to sit down, because I did my writing first thing in the morning. I do my writing first thing in the morning for my book. So I sit down like, oh, here I am for joyful expression. And it just makes me feel good when I do it. So, and also the other thing is, you can change your word or phrase throughout the year. If you feel like, that one's not really serving me, I kind of would like to do another one now. So you can do that, right? So there you go. That's uh, my little routine, how I like to end the year. So I hope you've enjoyed my reflections and projections, got to know me a little bit better. And I'd love to know if you found this helpful. So if you have, leave a comment. And if you're on my podcast, maybe you could scroll up and follow, or leave a 5-star rating, or even leave a comment. It helps people find the podcast more easily. And if you're watching on YouTube or on my website, I'd love to for you to leave a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, you could follow me there as well. Um, I love sharing. I think this is such a powerful, powerful time of the year. It's new beginnings. It's an opportunity to clear the slate, start again. It's also the time to have that second joy, right? Going through our memories, like Queen Elizabeth said, and experiencing that happiness and joy again. So we're getting both of that, just being really present with what's happened, and then also being intentional about the year ahead. All right, my beautiful friends, I want to say happy, happy new year. I hope you have an amazing 2024. I'm looking forward to being on this adventure with you. And I will see you again on the next episode of Wellness by Design. And I'm really thrilled about the guests I've got lined up for you in the coming months. So stay tuned to hear more about that.